Nandamuri Taraka Ramarao, more popularly known as N.T. Ramarao or NTR, who has acted predominantly in Telugu film industry, is one of the greatest actors in the world cinema and unarguably the best actor India has ever produced across all languages in India. NTR, along with A. Nageshwara Rao, was like two eyes of Telugu film industry who ruled the Telugu industry for over 4 decades and kept the flag of Telugu film industry flying very high. On the occasion of beginning of the centenary birth anniversary of NTR, in this presentation I will cover the life and times of NTR, the actor and the politician. The early life. NTR made his debut as an actor in Telugu social film Manadesam, directed by L.V. Prasad in 1949. But he delivered his first industrial hit, Patala Bhairavi, a 1951 movie which has established him as a bankable hero apart from establishing S.V. Rangarao, the legendary villain and character actor. This is the first Telugu movie which has run for 200 days in theatres and attained a cult status. He was in the top of Telugu industry in his entire career, and in a career spanning 33 years of active career, he acted in 304 movies, predominantly in Telugu films and a dozen Tamil films and 4 Hindi films. At the peak of his career, he left film industry and acting and entered public life through politics. The unparalleled box office success of NTR. NTR has a unique distinction of not having a dip in his entire career. He was in great demand ever since he established himself as a leading Telugu hero by 1961 till he chose to leave the industry to join politics in 1982. He acted in few films after entering into politics till 1993. About 8 to 10 movies used to release every year, and the diary of NTR used to be full for next 2 to 3 years ahead, with producers queuing up with any price, any term and condition to make him sign on dotted lines for their next movie. Some of the unheard demands made by him and met very happily by producers are Shankar Jaikishan at the top of their career have given music to one of the movies acted by NTR, and in 3 movies of NTR, Muhammad Rafi at peak of his career has sung Telugu songs. So that sort of demands of NTR used to be happily met by the producers. Here is a glimpse of his tremendous track record, which is unparalleled in the history of Indian cinema, which has established him as a undisputed collection king. He has acted in a total of 304 movies, out of which 275 movies were hit movies. 23 movies ran for 365 days, that is Golden Jubilee. 94 movies have ran for 300 days. 185 movies have run for 175 days, that is Silver Jubilee. 223 out of 304 movies were 100 days celebrations. In those days, the benchmark was any movie which has celebrated 100 days used to be treated as a hit movie. 52 movies have run for 50 days. There are very few movies which can be termed as flop movies of NTR. Another unique distinction of NTR was 28 movies of his have ran for 100 days in their second theatrical release. He also hold a unique distinction that his Kusha, which released in 1961, holds a record for running for uninterruptedly for 1 year and has sold 1 crore tickets in those days. And his Danavira Surakarna, which was released in 1977, has sold 2 crore tickets. These records are yet to be broken in Telugu industry. NTR, a versatile actor with unparalleled talent. The success of any actor can be measured by the ease with which an actor gets into the skin of various character he is saying in different genres and establish versatility. Normally, top actors and stars becoming prisoners of their own image and keep repeating themselves and do not experiment with their get-ups, modulation, body language, dialogue delivery, acting styles with the fear of not being accepted by the audience. To explain this point, let me examine few of the top stars of Hindi film industry who were the contemporaries of NTR and whose image they kept repeating in their entire career. Raj Kapoor, aping Chaplin, Devanand, a drooping walk and moving like a spring doll, Dilip Kumar, the tragedy king, Rajkumar, Jani, Hum. Give him any role in a social movie, action movie, historical movie, he will keep on repeating the same type of dialogue delivery and same mannerism. Manoj Kumar, the Bharat with a deadpan face, always closing his face with his fists. Shami Kapoor, Elvis, and staring at camera with stupid looks. Rajesh Khanna, the romantic image. Dharmender, the He-Man, and action movies. Compared to this, NTR used to carry any role in mythological, fantasy, historical, social, and action movies to such an extent. There were times when simultaneously a mythological movie, a fantasy movie, a historical movie, and an action movie used to run simultaneously in theaters, and audience used to accept him in all these extremely divergent roles. Now come to think of any Hindi actor, right from Raj Kapoor, Dilip Kumar, Devanand to Rajesh Khanna, Amitabh Bachchan to all Khans. Can you imagine them in a get-up of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or with a sword on the horseback in a fantasy movie? Hardly we can imagine them, leave alone their ever daring to act in any of those movies in their entire careers. That is the reason when TV serial Ramayana and Mahabharat were planned in Hindi, none of the Hindi film industry actors were taken as none could carry any role. Whereas NTR has done over and over again all the main characters of Ramayana and Mahabharata along with folklore movies, social and action movies. NTR, the mythological Maharaja. NTR was so successful in mythological roles that for an average cinegoers, Lord Krishna and Lord Rama means the image of NTR. And many of the fans in those days used to put his poster in their homes and worship it. The stupendous success of NTR in mythological roles have made him the demigod in the hearts of lakhs of his fans in Telugu states. Here, versatility can be gauged from the mythological roles done by NTR. few of which are Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Venkateshwara, Lord Brahma, and Mahabharat characters of Arjun, Bhim, Ravana, Duryodhana, Bhishma, Brahanala, Karna, Kichaka. Not satisfied by whatever he is doing, NTR used to do a lot of experimentation and did multiple mythological roles in many movies, which is most challenging. He did the role of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and Ravana in Sri Krishna Satya. Three roles of Lord Krishna, Duryodhana, and Karna in Dana, Veera, Sura, Karna, apart from writing, producing, and directing the movie. In Sri Madhvirata Parvam, he did five mythological roles of Lord Krishna, Kichaka, Duryodhana, Arjuna, and Brihanala, apart from writing the story, screenplay, producing, and directing the movie. In Brahmarshi Vishwamitra, he did the role of Harichandra and Dushyant. In Panduranga, he did the role of Lord Krishna and Panduranga. In the same way, he did dual roles and triple roles in many social and action oriented movies. It is claimed that Dana Veera Surakarna is one of the lengthiest films in the Indian film industry with a running time of 4 hours and 17 minutes. A unique distinction is that Ramarao can be seen on the screen for nearly 4 hours in that movie. Many times he is appearing on the screen as Lord Krishna, Duryodhana, and Karna at the same time with different get-ups and with different mannerism. His costumes, ornaments, mukuts, and the gadha he used to wear used to be so heavy, which he used to carry with a lot of ease and without affecting his acting and dialogue delivery, whereas we hardly find most of the Hindi actor even refusing to put a mustache for a role in their early entire career. Once Dilip Kumar has confessed that in his entire career he has not worn a half sleeve shirt. In early 90s, Shah Rukh Khan did an antagonist role in Dar and people sat up and thought it is a trendsetter. But NTR did this as early as in 1958 in Bhu Kailas by essaying the full length role of Ravana, which he again repeated in Sita Rama Kalyanam in 1961, which he directed, and the movie has won President Medal for Best Telugu Movie. In Danavir Surakarna, he put the focus on Duryodhana, one of his best roles in his entire career. Both the roles are extremely researched and projected them in a different manner than what we see in many movies. Another example of NTR challenging himself is at the peak of his career as a macho hero in action movies, he accepted the role of Bruhanala, the third gender, and for that role he learnt dance and body movements from Vempati Chanasatyam, the famous dance maestro. Janapad, the fantasy movies. This is a unique genre of movies made a lot in Telugu industry in those days. NTR with his 6 foot height and huge frame used to suit to these roles to the T. These movies were masala movies with huge sets, attractive costumes, designer tops, and hug tight stretch-on fans, sword fights, chases on horseback, sprinkled with magic and superpowers. Right from Patala Bhairavi, which released in 1951 till date, till late 70s, NTR has acted in more than 75 such movies. These movies, most of which were under the direction of Janapada Brahma B. Vittalacharya, were huge success and helped in creating a great mass base for NTR. Even with limited budgets and Indian technology, they used to create fantastic sets in Madras studios, and NTR fans used to go into frenzy watching him ride horse or doing sword fights. And I, in my childhood, was a big time fan of these movies. Stretching his range in each of these movies, NTR used to come in dozens of disguises, going for different get-ups and mannerism. With huge success of NTR in such fantasy movies, there were a lot of poor cousins of NTR like Kantarao and Ramakrishna who acted in many such movies. After many decades, this genre has been revived by Rajmouli on a mega budget and mega scale in Bahubali, which has created history in Indian cinema. This is one genre of movies which no Hindi star could carry comfortably, and very few such movies were made in Hindi. Most of them were remakes of NTR movies. In Tamil, MGR too used to act in many such fantasy movies along with Jayalalitha. Social dramas. No Indian actor in whichever language it is, including Telugu, can succeed without mastering in social dramas. These movies increase the female fan base for any actor, and NTR through many tearjerkers and social dramas like Todudongalu, Rakta Sambandhalu, Chellelu Kapuram, Chitti Chellelu, Nirdoshi, Kodala Diddanu Kapuram, Talla Pellama, and many more such movies delivered super hit social dramas. Action movies. Apart from fantasy movies, NTR has also acted and delivered super hits in out and out action movies. Few of such movies are సిఐడి, దేవాంతకుడు, నేనే మొనగాణ్ణి, దేవుడు చేసిన మనుషులు, భలే తమ్ముడు, which was a remake of Chinatown, నిప్పు లాంటి మనిషి, remake of జంజీర్, మొగాడు, remake of దివార్, అన్నదమ్ముల అనుబంధం, remake of యాదోంకి బారాత్, and కథానాయకుడు, which was remade in Hindi as Apna Desh. The last phase of his movie life. After mid 70s, the craze for mythological and fantasy movies has gone down drastically. Then came the mass masala entertainers of NTR, which majority of fan base from 1960s and 70s, including me, did not like. In this phase, he acted with Sridevi and Jayaprada, who were good over 30 years younger to him. For the first time in his entire career, he started doing dances, which used to be very wild. But in this phase, he delivered some of the biggest blockbusters, not only for him, but for the Telugu film industry, like Vetagadu, Yamadonga, Adaviramudu, Pubbilipuli, Justice Chowdhury, and Major Chandrakant. All of these are remade into Hindi with Jitendra. In fact, this is the phase where the habit or a tradition of the fans doing palabhishekam, artis, and throwing coins and currency notes in theaters have started. Standout qualities of NTR. During his lifetime and after 3 decades of his death, also, people swear by some of the best qualities of NTR, which made him the undisputed king of Telugu film industry for over 4 decades. First is punctuality. Every producer, director, and co actor will swear by the punctuality and work ethics of NTR. Even if the first scheduled shooting was to start at 6 am, people used to say that he used to turn up 15 minutes before with full makeup on. For mythological movies, it used to take 2 hours to do makeup. When NTR himself used to come ready at 6 am with full makeup on, Just imagine which co-star can dare to come late. As a result, it used to be great help for the producers in not wasting time, money and efforts and complete the movies in record time. In fact, incidentally, it was the time when to make a Hindi movie, it used to take anything between 3 to 5 years because many actors were in the habit of cancelling schedules or coming very late to shooting. In South, Telugu movies are to be made in flat 90 days, which every Hindi actor, producer, director used to refer. This punctuality and discipline has come from actors like NTR and ANR. Second quality is a discipline. Despite working in over 300 movies, even though he was a story and screenplay writer, producer, director, he always used to submit himself to the director, old or new alike, and always try to bring something new from him, from the new directors who is to direct him. Mastering dialogue and language. For every movie, especially mythological movies, he used to do lot of research, get dialogues written by literary scholars, take tutorials from them, and master chaste Telugu and Sanskrit and perfect the diction required, especially in mythological movies, as a result of which he became undisputed dialogue king. Though he belonged to Kamma caste, his pronunciation and his diction of Telugu and Sanskrit, especially in mythological movies, was at par or even better than any Brahmin. His dialogues in movies like Pandava Vanavasam, Bhukailas, Sita Rama Kalyanam, and above all, Dana Veera Surakarna were legendary. The audio cassettes of dialogues of Dan Veera Surakarna had created record sales in those days. Interest of Telugu film industry used to be at top of his agenda. Not only he used to bother about his movies, their success and his popularity, but always kept the welfare and interest of the Telugu film industry at the top. Telugu cinema has realized and living the NTR dream. At the peak of his career, when he has dominated the Telugu film industry with a wide variety of roles in all genres like mythological, historical, folklore, social, action movies, he always used to feel that his movies and Telugu movies in general deserve wider market like Hindi movies and should not get restricted to Telugu states only. He always nurtured a dream of Telugu movie being accepted all over India and all over the world as their quality, quantity, production values, acting skill are none to anyone else. This was at the top of his mind, and he used to discuss this with the top producers, directors, and co actors how to make it possible. That was the time when Bollywood has completely ignored the presence of South India and Telugu industry completely, accepting remaking the super hit Telugu movies. Even in that, most of the movies were done by South Indian banners only. After over 3 decades of his death, after the stupendous success of Bahubali 1 and 2, followed by Pushpa and RRR, Telugu industry has taken the center stage and dictating terms on a pan-India basis. The Telugu heroes, directors and technicians are much sought after, and massive budget movies are made in Telugu only and released on pan-India basis through dubbed versions. Thus, the Telugu film industry is living the dream of NTR in making Telugu industry as a pan-India industry. Awards. NTR has won three national awards for Todu Dongalu and Sitarama Kalyanam as a producer and for Varakatnam as a director. He got President Award for acting twice for Raju Peda in 1954 and Lavakusha in 1963. He was conferred with the Padma Shri in 1968. He was voted the greatest Indian actor of all times in CNN IBN national poll conducted in 2013 on the occasion of centenary of Indian cinema. He starred in movies like Patala Bhairavi, which premiered at the first India International Film Festival in Mumbai in 1952. Malleswari premiered at Asian Pacific Film Festival. Maya Bazar and Narthansala featured at the Afro-Asian Festival that was held in Jakarta. All the four movies are included in the CNBC list of 100 greatest Indian film movies. Entry into politics. He was known as an advocate of Andhra Pradesh distinct culture identity, distinguishing it from the erstwhile Madras state with which it was often associated in other parts of India. Though there are various theories about what triggered the desire to enter into politics when people felt that he has everything in life. It appeared that he wanted to bail out Andhra people from the insults heaped on them and their elected chief ministers like Anjaya and Channareddy by Indira Gandhi and Congress. On March 29, 1982, NTR has launched Telugu Desam Party. He coined the word Telugu Atma Gauruvam, Telugu self-respect, and salvage of it. He adopted the unique electioneering campaign. He took to the roads on his modified vehicle called Chaitanya Ratham, driven by his son Hari Krishna, father of Junior NTR, who starred in RRR. In 1983, TDP wins AP Assembly polls, winning 199 out of 294 seats. NTR wins both seats in which he contested. NTR takes oath as Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh for the first time in January 9, 1983, to become the first non-Congress politician to do so in Andhra Pradesh. In August 1984, Governor Ramlal dismisses NTR ministry and appoints his finance minister Nadella Bhaskar as chief minister. That is the biggest coup which has happened with the blessings of Indira Gandhi. On return from US from treatment in September, NTR took Padayatra and demonstrated his strength before the President of India. So Congress had no option but remove Lal and replace him with S.D. Sharma, who has reinstated NTR back into Chief Minister's saddle. In 84, NTR calls for a fresh elections to the assembly and wins the second term with a massive mandate. TTP has not only got into power in Andhra Pradesh but secured 30 Lok Sabha seats, and for the first time in the history, a regional party has become leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. In December 89, NTR loses assembly elections to Congress. Despite the defeat, NTR established himself as one of the tallest figures in the national politics, leads the National Front, a coalition of non-Congressy parties. NTR's contribution to opposition unity at the national level was a pioneering effort. NTR started low-income housing projects and built 5 lakh houses in 5 years to replace the horrible houses in which the poor were living. The program continued even after his death till date. He has introduced 2 kg rice program, free food for primary school children in government schools, which saw increase in primary school enrollment. Third term as Chief Minister in 1994, NTR returned to power for a third time in December 1994 state assembly elections, and his party has won 226 seats and with alliances, he has won 269 seats out of 294 assembly seats. The Congress has won only 26 seats. NTR has married Lakshmi Parvati, which has proved to be the biggest blunder he did in his lifetime, which made him lose not only Chief Ministership of Andhra Pradesh but his entire political career and subsequently maybe his life too. The growing interference of Parati in politics and administrative decisions made his son-in-law Chandrababu Naidu feel uncomfortable politically and the children's from bequeathing his vast assets. Naidu, with the support of entire NTR clan, led a revolt that led to his becoming chief minister on 1st September 1994, replacing NTR and left him heartbroken. In January 18, 1996, NTR died of heart attack, aged 72. His contribution in politics is tremendous and it has taken everybody by a surprise that a first time politician who was a film star, who was treated as a demigod, coming into politics, becoming chief minister straight away, doing so well administratively, and most importantly, he proved himself to be one of the most honest chief ministers Andhra Pradesh has ever seen. During his tenure as a chief minister, or when he was even defeated, when Congress was in the rule, no allegation of corruption was ever made against him during his lifetime or after his death. For me, it is one of the greatest achievements of NTR, the politician. But to his misfortune, when the national coalition has come to the power, he was not there at that time, and in his absence, Devagowda got the opportunity to become Prime Minister. Had he lived through till that time, maybe NTR could have become Chief Minister of India as well. If there is one person who deserves Bharat Ratna in film industry, it is NTR. Apart from his contributions in the film industry, he has such a legacy of political contribution which makes him a fit candidate for Bharat Ratna. He was given Padma Shri in the year 1968, and a colossal actor like him not being considered ever after for any Padma awards was a shame considering his enormous contribution as an actor, writer, producer, director, studio owner, and film elder to the entire Telugu film industry. His entering the politics and being opposition to Congress I has a lot to uh, play in his not getting any awards and his not being considered for any awards beyond Padma Shri. Lakhs of his fans and two chief ministers of Telugu states have been making representations for Bharat Ratna to NTR for a very long time. There could be no better time than his centenary year to confer Bharat Ratna, which brings a lot of honor and dignity to the award itself. To have the name of Vishwavikhyata Nata Sarvabhauma Nandamuri Taraka Ramarao in the list of Bharat Ratna awardees. Whether he gets a Bharat Ratna or not, but he lives in the hearts of every Telugu speaking film goer and in general public also as a politician and one of the best chief ministers ever to serve Andhra Pradesh till eternity. With these words, I, as Prabhakar, sign off.